This is KYW-TV, Philadelphia. This is The Bulletin with Larry Kane.
Ahead on this July 28, 1995 edition of The Bulletin. They're glamorous, they're glitzy, and they're men.
You wear a three-piece suit to work, I wear a dress to work.
Enter Philadelphia's world of drag queens, where men make a handsome living dressing up as gorgeous women. If you had a bar of gold, where mean different things in different times. Like in high school, drag meant racing down an abandoned highway to see if your supercharged V8 could beat his. Today, drag, or going drag, has a much different meaning. It means that the old expression, girls will be girls and boys will be boys, can be thrown out the window. Around the nation, this drag thing is becoming hotter than hot, and it's also a big money winner. Now, I'm sure to many of you watching tonight, this might be out of reach and out of bounds, but to many others, this onstage sex change business is a real art form, and you can see it right here in Philadelphia. So get ready, everybody. You're about to enter an unusual world of illusion and performance when life is a drag. It's not easy being a woman these days, especially if you're a man. They know a thing or two about makeup and hair, and they could give Vegas showgirls a run for their money. They are glitzy, they are glamorous. Meet the men who dress up like women strictly to entertain. They call themselves drag queens, and they dazzle the audience.
This is theater, it's fun, it's dress up.
It's very interesting to watch. It's very creative.
Theatrics of it, the drama, a lot of sparkle. I love their ensembles.
Of the genre, RuPaul, whose real name is RuPaul Charles, is arguably the most famous drag queen today. You've probably seen him before. He's had a hit record. Movie roles, and believe it or not, a new makeup contract. But for him, it's just an act.
People are like, so, like, you want to be a woman? Or what's the deal? Like, no, I mean, I look great in a pair of pumps, and I do it well.
RuPaul brought drag to MTV and a whole new audience. Today, it's nearly everywhere you look. There are the movies. Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze play drag queens in an upcoming feature film. And in theaters right now, the movie Wigstock. Just a few years ago, the film Paris is Burning introduced us to the underground world of Harlem drag balls. There are ads featuring men as women. There are drag queens in music videos and in fashion magazines, right alongside real women. The legendary singer Billie Holiday comes alive thanks to the amazing talent of Joey Arias. His show is so hot, Madonna came to see him perform 3 times. There are elaborate burlesque-like balls where men pull out all the stops. This is the 90s version of drag, but it's not a new thing. It's been done in some form or another for decades and has slowly been creeping into the mainstream over the last few years.
Now.
How do they walk in these things?
In 1959, Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis dressed like girls in the film Some Like It Hot. Years later, Dustin Hoffman played Tootsie, and recently Robin Williams was Mrs. Doubtfire. There are versions of drag all around the world. In Chinese opera, men play women's roles, the same for Japanese kabuki theater. But you don't have to travel to the other side of the world to see drag. It's right here in the Philadelphia area. For Randy Bowman, this is like Broadway. He's been dressing up for 17 years. The night we caught up with him, he was performing at the Cartwheel, a club in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Randy's stage name is Monica Ray. He's no amateur performer.
It was always like a goal to like excel. I studied dance, I studied voice, I studied theater. I got out of college, did a few shows, and I was going to go to Broadway. I was determined I was going to go to Broadway.
But Randy loved drag. The very first time he put on high heels and a gown at the urging of some friends, he says he was hooked.
I knew that I loved it. It was what I had to do.
Although his sights were set on the Great White Way, drag proved a satisfying alternative.
This was much easier. There was no classes, no dance classes, no vocal training, no auditions per se. It was like an easy out. I still got to be on stage. And if I excelled in what I was wanting to do, I could still have the name that I could probably have on Broadway.
It was a Halloween night that David Watts says he first put on a dress and pumps. He cracked a few jokes in costume, and Tinsel Garland was born. That's right, the name is Tinsel Garland.
I wish there was some kind of profound statement on how I got it, but I think it was after Halloween and Christmas time had started, and I think actually I make mostly all my own costumes. So at that point, I used Tinsel Garland as a trim on my costume, and when they asked my name, I must have looked at a box or something and it came out, but it stuck.
It all seemed like a perfect fit. The name, the character, the whole package. And there was one other thing that made David realize he'd found his niche.
When they paid me. When I actually realized I could make money doing it and it was legitimate.
Oh, honey, you make my hairdo twirl.
David's show has been seen by fellow comedian Joan Rivers and actress Elke Summer.
When I first started, it was a hobby, but now because the demand is there, it's become a profession.
Would you like it?
Absolutely.
David Blake loves the stage, but he also has a 9-to-5 job outside the clubs. Now, you have a day job, I assume, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you do?
I am in furniture retail.
David wears a suit and tie to work, just like he did for our interview. It's only at night that he transforms himself.
And the trick is to become someone that I'm not, and so that people can't recognize David underneath all that facade. So it's creating an illusion is basically what it is. Whether it's sexy or ugly, Bette Davis is not the prettiest woman in the world, but I still recreate her.
Then there are the full-time drag queens like Tinsel Garland. He makes his living performing nearly every night of the week.
It just happened that I became so busy with my shows that I had to give up any jobs that I had. I kept working and people kept calling me and I just did it.
As popular as this form of dress-up is, drag queens say they feel misunderstood, that people have the wrong idea about why they do what they do. They don't want to be confused with cross-dressers, transvestites, or transsexuals. They want to make it clear that they get no sexual satisfaction out of performing. And there's another thing they want to make perfectly clear. Okay, question. You have no illusions about who you are?
No, not at all. What I do is I come to work, I put on my makeup, I take my makeup off at the end of the night, and I go home.
You get labels like pervert and you know, strange, but it's entertaining. I had a fight with someone one time. They said, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you not give it up? I enjoy what I'm doing. It's just like you wear a three-piece suit to work, I wear a dress to work.
I have no desire to be a woman. I think most people that actually end up entertaining and become a known entertainer usually have no desire to really be women.
And besides, this is a lot of work.
Tinsel Garland is hard. I don't envy women for what they have to go through as far as the outfits, the pantyhose, the high heels. It's torturous.
But no matter what it takes to become a drag queen, many people all around here are enjoying it. The people we talk to explain why they think it's become more accepted and popular.
I think standards have changed. Times have changed. People are a little bit more open to different lifestyles.
I think we're growing as a culture, and we are inclined to accept people for who they are as opposed to judge them.
I will have a woman bring a husband in, and the husband will be very nervous and very whatever. But usually by the end of the night, I have the husband in total laughter.
I find more and more even heterosexual men visually can be more acceptive to it as far as comedy, my venue, because they're not as threatened by it. I'm not trying to disillusion them that I'm a total woman and, you know, or seduce them in any way.
I think they come, they see, they enjoy, and they just keep coming back.
I know what you're thinking. You wanted to ask me a question. Well, when I came back from doing the interview on this story, a lot of curious people in our newsroom asked me, what do you think? Would I go to a movie instead? Probably. But let's face it, entertainment is entertainment, and these performers really work hard at it. And more, here and around the country, people from all backgrounds and orientations are coming to see drag. And the truth is, and this is really the truth, that many people who claim they'd never go to see it privately want to, and others who say they aren't interested have a good time once they go. When the bulletin returns.
Invasion of privacy.
But it isn't like for him, it's for who used to live there.
Why don't we just stand on top of the car?
I easily could.